All right, everybody. It's another Sunday in September, and yes, two more losses in the books for both the New York Jets and the New York Giants. The funny thing is, there's a bit of a Freaky Friday situation going on here where the teams kind of reverse, where the Jets looked abysmal and could barely score any points, and the Giants looked like a juggernaut on par with the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills of Sunday Night Football of old. So a lot to unpack, especially in that game. So just Derek, first, just thoughts on just what transpired with your crazy Giants-Cowboys game.
Yeah, Casey. It'd be like total reversal from last week where the Giants were the team that just did not play well at all. I thought the score was even like it was worse than what the score indicated. And the Jets last week against the Steelers have this crazy game with tons of points and a big long field goal for the opposing team. That one winning it, this one bringing it to overtime. This one hurts a lot. It does. And it's not to have moral victories at this point, it's not like, Jackson Dart played really well. Russell Wilson was fantastic for the first four quarters, was unfucking believable.
Yeah.
And so, hey, I was really down on him after week one. Look, he really was unbelievable. I mean, 30 for 41, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. We have not seen a Giant offensive performance like this in a really long time. I mean, the Giants have had such a hard time scoring 30 points. They scored 37 and lost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They finally scored over 30 points, 37, and they lost the game.
Oof. Man.
It's, and the Giants have not beaten Dallas in Jerry World since 2016. And that was the only time that Dak Prescott beat the Giants. The only other time that the Giants won was the last game of 2020 where Andy Dalton was the starter, and that was the game where the Giants won, needed the Eagles to beat Washington to win the NFC East, and the Eagles threw the game, and Washington won. Right. So even that win against the Cowboys ends up not really even amounting to much. So let's discuss it.
Yeah.
The offense was amazing. I mean, going to talk about just some individual statistics here. I just gave you Russell Wilson's.
Yeah, vintage Russ, man. It was like 10 years ago.
Vintage Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got it. He does. The fact that he showed this, tells me. And I was saying, last week, if the Giants were losing by a lot, I don't trust that he'd come back. Not the case. The moon ball is still there for Russell Wilson. But Malik Neighbors, 9 catches, 167 yards and 2 touchdowns, was almost the hero with a touchdown that gave the Giants the lead with 25 seconds left. I want to say this was Wan'Dale Robinson's best game of his career. They were finding him down the field. We're so used to Wan'Dale Robinson with the short passes and the sort of the gimmicky action.
Right. Russ was connecting from far, man. Yeah. And it was perfect placement and everything.
Perfect placement. Yeah. Good schemes by Mike Kafka, the offense coordinator. Guys were open. It was an impressive showing. Wan'Dale, 8 catch, 142 yards and a touchdown. Darius Slayton, again, not heavily involved, but did have a nice 52-yard catch along the way. We saw a lot more Cam Scatterbo, who had his first touchdown of his career.
And he did.
So a lot of good things offensively in the first 4 quarters of action here. But the defense was absolutely fucking dreadful. And there were moments and early on they were all right, but really a really disappointing showing. This defense is supposed to be the vaunted, I don't know, maybe vaunted is strong, but everyone thought, all right, this
everyone
defense
was high on them.
Keep them
exactly.
in games.
Yep, exactly.
That's going to be the reason why they win games. And it was the exact opposite. They lost the game for the Giants. And there are so many storylines. I mean, as I'm thinking about it here, the penalties were fucking ridiculous on the Giants end. 14 penalties, amounting for 160 yards, and James Hudson III took 4 penalties in the first drive. He was benched, deservedly so.
And what was up with him? I saw him freaking out on the sidelines and trying to fight Dable. That was horrible.
He's an overly emotional player, Casey. Yeah, he was a free agent pickup, most formerly with the Cleveland Browns, and I know that's part of his game, and there's an aggressiveness there. Yeah, he totally lost his shit on the sideline. I guess when they told him they were taking him out, I guess he didn't take too kindly to that. But it was so bad. And hey, Marcus Bowe, the 5th-round rookie, not without some struggles, but actually looked pretty good. And maybe a blessing in disguise that happened while Andrew Thomas continues to be out. And I got to be honest with you, I don't really know Andrew Thomas was listed as doubtful again. I don't know that we're going to see him against Kansas City on Sunday Night Football next week. But yeah, the penalties were an absolute killer, and that's a big storyline here. But the defense was complete trash. I want to skim through some. Things.
Go for
the Giants here. The 16-play, 60-yard drive is just crazy. And James Hudson took huge penalties. The biggest one being where the Giants had a long pass to Wan'Dale Robinson that got them to 1st and goal at the 1. But because James Hudson took a unnecessary roughness penalty, it was to the 2, to be correct. It pushed them back 15 yards, and ultimately they settled for 3. The difference here is the Cowboys in this game were efficient in the red zone. When they got there, they got touchdowns, and the Giants did not. They settled for field goals. They went for it on 4th down and didn't convert. As much as the offense could have scored more than 37 points. It was, and that's typical Giant shit to basically, leave points on the board. But then the offense gets going in a big way, and it's just, it gets to a point where you're just trading touchdowns. We didn't see a punt from either team in the second half.
It's unbelievable. And you know what?
From either team.
It figures too, right? Because we were talking about this last week, how this would normally have been a Sunday night football game, right? With Al and Chris from back in the day. It's the first time it's been in the 1 o'clock slot. And look what they produced here.
Unbelievable game for Fox. I think they got the second announcing crew, I think, with Joe Davis and Greg Olson and Pam Oliver.
Yes, they did.
And look, and I was happy. The 1 o'clock slot, even though it's not as glamorous from a Giant perspective, we've been so bad in prime time. So I kind of like the sort of innocuous 1 o'clock out, and technically, I guess in Dallas, 12 p.m.
Right. Yep.
Didn't mind that at all. But yet the Giant defense just could not make the stops when needed. Giants get a touchdown early on, 29-yard touchdown, Malik Neighbors in the second quarter, and Dallas responds with a touchdown of their own to Kevontae Turpin. Dallas actually left points on the board at the end of the half. So it's actually kind of back-to-back weeks where the Commanders did the same thing, different exact situations. But all that said, Giants up 13-10 at half, which is crazy. The final score is 40-37. The fourth quarter was 21-20 Giants. I'm just looking at that now.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
But, the defense fucked up. The Giants finally got a turnover. Which has been hard for them to do. Drew Phillips gets an interception in the first drive out of the third quarter. But then the Giants, unfortunately, turn it over on downs. And, not a great 3rd and 3 call with a Cam Scattaboo no gain. And then a 4th and 3, Wilson to Scattaboo, and Scattaboo drops it. Not an easy play, but a play that I wish he made. And Dallas drives down the field for 90 yards on 6 plays. Javonte Williams, 30-yard touchdown run. And some not so good tackling on this play. Right up the gut, Deonte Banks, who was just a frustration, not a great tackle, and Tyler Nubin in his second-round pick last year. I do not like what I'm seeing from him. Not making enough plays, missed tackles. I don't like that at all. Giants respond with a field goal because, that's what they do. They got it down to the fucking Dallas, 1st and 10 at the 15, but then they fall short, only get a field goal. Dallas gets a field goal of their own to make it 20-16. And look, there's so much in apologies in advance. There's so much in this game that are going to be left out from the analysis. And I'm thinking about Roy Robertson Harris with a couple of penalties as far as roughing the passer. One correctly called, one probably incorrectly called later on. But
well, if you miss anything, commenters, let us know what we missed, and
yes,
we'll touch on it then.
Absolutely. And so, the Giants do, though, take the lead early in the fourth quarter. They actually bring in Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart played three snaps. And the first one he comes in on, it's a Cam Scattaboo 24-yard run. Kind of threw the Dallas defense off a little bit, and then Scattaboo finishes it off with a touchdown from the 1-yard line. But then Dallas responds with a 10-play, 85-yard drive. And on this one, it's Miles Sanders who finishes it off with a 4-yard touchdown. Just a chaotic game at this point. And then it really kicks into high gear where you reach a situation where it's 4th and 4 at the Dallas 32. The Giants are going for it. There's less than 3 minutes left, and Russell Wilson connects with Wan'Dale Robinson for a 32-yard touchdown. At this point, for me, I'm like, I'm happy about it, but I'm in no way thinking that the Giants are in good shape. And I'm going to say this really quick. I know this is so outside the box and more new age, but I wouldn't have minded the Giants going for 2 here and trying to go up 4. And the reason I say that is I know there's a risk if you don't get it, then like Dallas hits a field goal and maybe you lose right there. But the Brandon Aubrey factor was scary, and it came to life. I hated that the Giants were always down 3. That the Giants were only up 3, and the Giants were down 4. Like that scenario, I wish the Giants could have flipped somehow. And so again, not going to spend too much time on that, but wouldn't have hated maybe thinking outside the box, but they don't. And it's a 3-point game, and Dallas drives the field and gets a touchdown. Now there was a 4th and 3 at one point with just over 2 minutes left, but Dallas is able to convert. And out of the 2-minute warning, they go down, move the ball pretty well, and it ends up in a George Pickens 6-yard touchdown to give Dallas a 4-point lead with 52 seconds left. And then Russell Wilson on the 3rd play of the drive finds Malik Neighbors for a 48-yard touchdown pass. And it's a good feeling at that point. There's 25 seconds left. The Giants are up by 3. But Dallas does have all 3 timeouts. And here's where I want to focus on, because now we're at like the nitty-gritty point here. And the first play was good. Kayvon Thibodeau nearly sacks Dak Prescott. Nearly. And the ball was almost intercepted by Dexter Lawrence. Almost. It's deflected in the air. He's unable. He's a big guy. I get it. But he doesn't come down with it. So now there's 14 seconds left. It's that close. It's very close. And the play that probably bothers me the most is a Jake Ferguson 18-yard reception. The defense was too soft. You cannot, especially with Brandon Aubrey as their kicker. Once that all it took was just an 18-yard play. Like, that's all it took. It wasn't like it was multiple plays. That was the play. Yes, they did get a 3-yard run after that, but it allowed Brandon Aubrey to fucking convert a 64-yard field goal as time expired. So you felt like maybe when Neighbors got the touchdown, there was a chance that finally the Giants would pick up a huge win, not start the season 0-2, finally beat the Dallas Cowboys. But in the last 15 to 20 years as a Giant fan, and like I know all team experienced this. I mean, Casey experienced it last week with Chris Boswell with a 60-yard field goal. But the Giants have been on the receiving end of so many long field goals that have won games or tie games. And I don't know, maybe it was, Giants Bills Super Bowl 25, Scott Norwood going wide right.
Yeah, it might be wide right, dude.
That was kind of the sacrifice where, the Giants win a Super Bowl. Okay, well now the result of that is the Giants are going to be on the receiving end of a lot of heartbreak as far as,
60-yard field
Jake
goals.
Elliott.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I could think of, again, within the last 5 to 10 years, Jake Elliott with the Eagles had a long field goal. Graham Gano when he was on Carolina. Those are just a couple that come to mind. There's many more. And so Aubrey ties it up there. We go to overtime. And now, I believe, Casey, this might have been the first overtime of the season. I think, I could be wrong, where the new rules are implemented. Where now, and I like the rule change, where both teams, even if the first team scores a touchdown, the other team is entitled to the ball.
Yep.
So the Giants choose to take the ball second, which I mostly agree with. Now, the only thing that's annoying is the fact that the NFL still has a fucking 10-minute overtime. Can we at least make it 15? Especially with the new rule. I totally disagree with that. But anyway, the Giants get the ball second, which I think you're going to see in most cases teams defer and kick it off. Not all the time, but most of the time. And sure enough, the Giants actually get Dallas to punt the ball away. They actually do. But then Russell Wilson, who had amazing regulation, amazing first 4 quarters, he fucks up where the Giants have a lot of momentum. Basically, it's second and 3 at the Giant 35, and Russell Wilson, I think he was trying to throw the ball and then didn't want to and tried to pull back, but in doing so, lost control of the ball. It goes behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a fumble. So the Giants lose on that play 14 yards.
Yeah, that was absolutely bizarre. Watching
that
that live. Yeah.
And you cannot have that happen.
Yeah.
So now it becomes 3rd and 17, and then it's an incomplete pass. So now, in a game that had so much offense, back-to-back punts, so Dallas gets the ball back. But what do you know? What do you know? Dallas actually goes 3-and-out. And there was some, Giants got a little bit lucky, I think, on a George Pickens offensive pass interference call. Seemed a little bit soft, to be honest with you. But then the next play, 2nd and 29, Javonte Williams, a 19-yard run. And I know the Giants were gassed, but a missed tackle by like Abdul Carter and a couple of other guys as well. Now, ultimately, Dallas did not get the first down. The next play, Drew Phillips makes a great tackle on Tolbert, and Dallas punts it away. So the Giants get the ball back again. And Olszewski with a nice punt return to the 34. But the first play, Devin Singletary comes back in the game. Devin Singletary had not seen action since very early in the game. They bring him back in. It's a negative 4-yard reception from Singletary from Russell Wilson. And then on a 2nd and 14 from the 30, Marcus Bowe was certainly getting pressured by the Cowboy defender. I'm not sure who that was. So Russell Wilson kind of had a little bit of pressure on him, but an ill-advised chuck throw by Russell Wilson. If it was on 3rd down, I get it. But on 2nd down, he just right into the hands of Wilson of the Cowboys. And Malik Neighbors tried to punch it out, couldn't do so. And so here you are, Cowboys with the ball, 2 minutes left in overtime. A George Pickens 27-yard reception, a Dak Prescott 14-yard scramble, and it's Brandon Aubrey as time expires in overtime with a 46-yard field to give the Cowboys a 40-37 win.
So when Aubrey hits the 60-yarder, do you feel like there's any chance that you guys are going to win that game?
You're feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, here we go again. Yeah, that was the toughest moment. Obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good about it. Again, with the new overtime rules, I was kind of consumed with that.
That's true.
Let's get the ball second. I'm like, okay, this could be curious.
It was interesting.
But
and you guys got a couple punts. So
yeah, but I'm with you, Casey. The overall deep feeling is okay, here we go again. This is going to be a loss.
Yeah. It's just
and honestly, man, I know a tie is better than a loss, but I didn't even want look, I was upset that Aubrey got the winning field goal, but a tie, man, I don't know, I wanted the win.
Yeah,
I really
especially,
wanted the win.
I mean, Russell Wilson throws, 400, whatever,
450
yards. Yeah. I mean, you want to win there. A tie would feel like a loss, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was unbelievable to watch. I mean,
a classic game,
an absolute classic. I guess you just got to hope that Russ can continue this. I mean, obviously 450 would be crazy to do against the Chiefs Sunday night, but at least some semblance of this, go for your home opener. Sunday night, looking ahead here.
Like we had said previously, a very late, Sunday night of week 3 is the home opener.
Yeah.
And look, I don't feel great about this game for the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are. I know the Giants are as well, but the Kansas City Chiefs coming in at 0-2, that is. I mean, it'd be great. But are the Chiefs going 0-3?
I guess you gotta hope that.
I know they look susceptible.
They look susceptible. I guess you gotta hope that Worthy's still out for some reason. Yeah. I mean, Rice is still going to be gone.
Pretty positive on Worthy. For what it's worth.
Okay.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, all right. That'll be interesting. I guess we'll see what that looks like. But I mean,
let's talk about let's talk about your Jets.
I mean, what is there to talk about, really? You know what I mean? No, but it is really funny how it was such a role reversal for our teams here. The way that the Jets came out in week 1 against the Steelers, against Aaron Rodgers, looking so prepared and so crisp, and really not that many penalties compared to what we're used to from this Jet squad. Just all these boxes that, you felt like, in a lot of ways, moral victory of sorts, or at least going into this game here against Buffalo, you think, all right, well, this offense looks like a somewhat legitimate group here, comparing it, we're talking about week 1. The Bills let up 40-something points to fucking Lamar Jackson, who's amazing, but still, the Bills defense can be susceptible as well. It's very clear.
Started up, Casey, but the interesting thing is when we had recorded last week,
right?
We thought the Ravens had won. Update: Bills actually had a miraculous comeback and ended up winning that game. So.
Yeah, exactly. We probably, if you guys caught that, you probably were like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?"
Yeah.
But that was recorded earlier, but. Yeah, just it was so, going into this, you think, okay, what do we got here? So we get the ball to start off the game, but it ends up being a punt right away. So, things are like, okay, that's all right. And now Josh Allen's getting the ball, and you're kind of like, okay, let's see what happens here. And there was a moment where towards the they were driving a little bit here, forgive me, and a third down play, and this is again going back to what we're talking about with how in the first game everything seemed so crisp and everyone seemed composed and ready to come out, and here we go again with the Jets just doing asinine dumb penalties to extend drives and screw us over ultimately. So it's third down. Josh Allen steps out of the pocket and makes a pass. It's incomplete. Looks like it looks like it's fourth down and the Buffalo Bills are going to kick a field goal. But no, there's a flag thrown. Michael Clemens with a roughing the passer call that extends this drive, and it ends up becoming a touchdown instead. And it's just like, again, just so, I don't know, infuriating that it has to be stupid shit like this all the time that bites us in the ass. And then here we go. Then we get the ball back, and then Justin Fields fumbles. And now you're like, okay, all these, it just seemed like once something bad happened, it was Murphy's Law, and just bad things started happening continuously. Justin Fields fumbles, they get the ball, and then miraculously the Jets defense actually holds them to only 3 points. So from that one fumble, they only get 3. So you're like, okay, 10-0. There's still a way to make this work for us, right? Well, no, 5 plays, it's another punt. Then the Bills get the ball back, another field goal. The Jets, what do? We punt the ball again to them. Now it becomes 20-3 or whatever. And mind you, too, I have to mention this as well. There was a moment in the game where Josh Allen got clocked in the face somehow while in a scramble with someone, and one of the linemen's hands, I guess, got underneath the helmet and hit Allen in the nose, and he comes out of the game. And you think on this drive here, oh, well, Allen's out of the game. Maybe there's a chance here for us to, capitalize. Who's coming in? Oh, it's Mitch Trubisky. Like, okay, it's great. What does Mitch Trubisky do on the first play? Throws a beautiful pass that Sauce Gardner ends up getting completely beat on. And then, also to add to that, he gets flagged for defensive holding. So just like, all these things that, I feel like any competent team would capitalize on these types of situations. I mean, Josh Allen, who is like one of the toughest guys in the game right now, had to come out because it was that dire and serious that, he obviously he might have broken his nose. We're not sure yet, but he comes out of the game, and now it's like, okay, Mitch Trubisky, there's still, we're still within reach of trying to turn this game around. And then it's like you give up this huge pass. I mean, like and then on top of it, it's Sauce Gardner, who we gave all this money to. He's getting it completely burnt, and he still gets a flag thrown for defensive holding. Just like a completely disgusting, horrible look for the team. And I mean, it all went pretty much downhill from there. Justin Fields ended up getting concussed. It was, and Tyrod Taylor came in. At that point, the game was over. But just really, really rough, dude. Pretty disgusting. I'm pretty pretty defeated here, but. Fields 3 of 11 for 27 yards before exiting in the fourth. 27 yards. I know you got Fields in fantasy, so you definitely were feeling it as well.
Last week.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Started this week.
Right,
Great.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what's insane about this. I mean, he had 49 rushing yards, but big whoop. It's just, I don't know. It really was really rough. Total yards for the Jets, 154 to the Buffalo's 403. And we went 0 for 11 on third down. So, just like all the things that you're used to with the Jets. So now all the stuff that all the moral victory stuff I was talking about earlier from week 1, I mean, all that stuff is out the window now. Now we kind of look like the same old squad. Aaron Glenn, I know people are already trying to compare him to Saleh, in terms of like an undisciplined defensive coordinator type here. I'm going to give him a little bit more grace than that, but still not a good look, especially after how prepared we look in week 1 to look so unprepared for this game against a huge, against a division rival that we have played tough in the past. Yep. Really ugly, man. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see what happens with Justin Fields. He might have to sit out next week. I think that's still TBD.
He left the game with a concussion.
Yes,
right?
he left the game.
So he's in concussion protocol.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, usually that takes, usually people have to sit out about 1 game. So, yeah, not looking good in Jetland, and now we're going to go to Tampa next week. And, Tampa has yet to play. We're recording this on Sunday night, so they play Monday Night Football. So,
Get them on a short week.
You do get them on a short week. That's true. And I guess we'll see what Tampa looks like in week 2, but, formidable offense, I would.
For sure.
Yeah.
And also just another note, and I've seen this a lot more this year, more than usual, where a lot of the teams in weeks 1 and 2, both on the road or both at home, that will actually be Tampa Bay's first home game as well, for what it's worth in week 3. So
very weird, right? I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of those this year.
Yeah. I feel like it's usually more 1-1. But for some reason this year, I'm noticing a lot more. And in this case, it'll be the Bucs' first home game. And when we were doing the projections of the schedule, doing some win-loss game, at Tampa. Definitely not going to be easy. And like we kind of said, that first game was really important. And
that's the thing.
And it's kind of funny how you look at things too, for the Giants and for the Jets, in week 2, the Commanders struggled, in a tough opponent at Green Bay in week 2. And for the Jets week 1 opponent, the Steelers, they lost home to the Seahawks. So not the greatest look there.
No.
Now every opponent is different and every team matches up to each other, differently. But, this Pittsburgh Aaron Rodgers-led team didn't exactly light it up today.
Right.
So,
yeah. Exactly. That's why it's same thing. I'm sure how you feel today as well with this Cowboys game. It's these are the games where it's man, I mean, you have to get that game, man.
You have to.
I mean, our teams are not good enough to have a repeat performance the next game. You know what I mean? These are fluke games for our squads generally the last 5 years or whatever. So.
Right. And we always seem to be on the losing end of them, and it would have
dumb
just
shit
been,
usually too,
right.
For the most part.
And it was just, it was just too good to be true that the Giants were going to find a way to be the ones to get the win, against not a great Dallas squad, but nonetheless, it would have felt good. It would have, I would have been a lot more excited going to next week. And now it's kind of all right, 0-2, 2 divisional losses. And it's exactly what I didn't want to happen. And it just sets you up in a tough spot.
That's
even though, again, there's the offense was a lot better. I sound like you last week. But then again, look at what we saw with the Jets. Then they get stifled by a Bill team that, yes, they have a pretty good defense, I guess, although they were missing 2 key guys on the defense.
Yeah, Oliver, right?
And looked, and I know it was Lamar, right? Oliver and Johnson, right? The quarterback. So look, who knows? As good as the Giant offense was this week, against a good Steve Spagnuolo-led defense in Kansas City, who's going to be desperate, its points might be tough to come by. Yeah. So when you have the chance to win, you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, man. So, we got to just hope for the best here, I guess, at this point.
But hey, Casey, we knew what we were getting into with this.
We knew what was up. I guess just now, feeling the pain. This is Sunday that we're recording this, so it's the wound is fresh, But, tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll, breathe in air and I'll be I'm alive. I have a beautiful wife. I'll start listing the things in my life that are good. My fantasy team is killing it. I was very thrilled with that performance here. I'm actually going to get a $50 probably here. We'll see.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. But so that those are the things that you got to remind yourself as New York football team fans. Just count the things that in your life that are good, because the Giants and the Jets are probably not one of them. Although we're hoping one day maybe they will be, but
maybe. And you know what? Out of all the leagues for us to root for bad teams, I would say with all of the pomp and circumstance with just NFL Sunday, at least it's a league that there's a lot of interest in out of town games and things like that. So, at least we're not going through an 162 game grind of just bad play. So again, just trying to look for the wins here somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess we'll just wrap things up here. I mean, we kind of talked about the matchups coming up here, and I feel like we've, said our piece about our teams. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Appreciate you guys. If you can, please like and subscribe. There's also this new feature called hyping, where if you're on your cell phone, you can look at the video and scroll and hit this hype button, and it gives us points. It sounds really cool. We don't really know what the hell it does, but it would be cool to get points. We like points. So that would be sweet. Derek will be obviously doing his Yankee recap here coming up about the Red Sox series that we just had. Kind of a brutal loss today, but, all things considered, we'll take 2 out of 3. That's pretty sweet. But Derek will, I'm sure, divulge into that later. And, so Derek covers Yankees, Giants, and Rangers, which will be coming up here soon. So, if you're a fan of those teams, this guy knows his stuff, and I kind of know my stuff a little bit. But I just hold down the fort here on the BTS
Casey's the
stuff.
glue guy.
I'm the glue guy. I glue shit together, baby. I glue shit together. Hopefully, our teams can be glued together to produce a win for us at some point.
Maybe if we glued our teams together, maybe if we combined each best players at each position, maybe we would combine to be a 500 team.
Probably
maybe.
500. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I think Buffalo would still beat us by 25.
Yeah.
But right. Well, that's it. But anyway, guys, appreciate you, Derek. You're the man. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you guys.